Thank you for letting me know on the stream. I'm not exactly sure where you got it or where we got to on that. But we were running live with Attila Korkmaz. I'm going to bring him straight back in, my brother. Listen, I've just been talking to you there. We just had some people let me know on the stream that it's not, the feed hasn't been clear. So again, I don't want to jump back and go through it all again. But you had a baptism of fire coming into Octagon, right? You were up against the lightweight champion Ronnie Paradisa in a spectacular performance that was, and I'll be absolutely honest, I gave it to you. I scored it for you, and I said it afterwards. But I know that it was one of those very close ones. How was that as a debut? How was it facing Ronnie Paradisa in your first fight for Octagon?
Man, they gave me right away the toughest opponent, their champion in that weight division, and for me personally, it was a special challenge. As you know, he's a tall guy, he's a southpaw, very unique fighting style, and for me, it was an interesting puzzle to solve. And yeah, I was able to showcase my skills and win the hearts of the fans, right? Unfortunately, it wasn't enough to convince the judges, but for me, it was a really fun fight. I mean, it takes two guys to put on a great back and forth performance, right? So yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I think I have put a good statement into the organization. Like I see myself with the top guys, and I want to display more. There's so much more to showcase in this organization, and yeah, let's see.
Listen, I showed this before, but again, for people that didn't get it on the stream, this was one of the moments and is the picture of the tournament for me of Octagon 54, the cartwheel kick. That, and I cut you off just as you were speaking it before, but those type of moves, I've seen you pull off. And again, I think your calf kick is world class. I've got to say that. I thought that was a key weapon in that fight. I feel like your creativity is very special, very unique. I feel like you've got a dog in you as well. Like when it turns into a real brawl, you can bring that. And I asked you before, where did you get the inspiration for some of these moves? Like the guy, we talk about Max Holloway finding them in computer games and things like that. Do you take similar inspiration, movies? Is there anyone in particular that you watch, any computer games you play where you kind of go, I've seen that, pause the game. Right, come on, Randy, we're going to go and drill this now.
Sure. I mean, yes. Look, I take inspiration from everywhere. And I see myself as an innovator. It is for me very important to be a creative fighter and just push the boundaries a little bit, and just to see what works and actually make the things work on the highest level. And yeah, if I'm honest, this kick would have knocked him out. But I was really surprised how low he gets. I mean, I'm really accurate with my attacks, but I was really surprised how low he went. And yeah, that was unusual for his height, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I just love it. I just love to entertain the fans.
And you do that. I think you do that before the fights, after the fights, obviously in the cage as well. What is it that led to this expressive style? I mean, I know you got into martial arts, I believe, through Taekwondo, which obviously there's a flamboyant kicking game that comes there. But is this like a true expression of your personality? Is this a way of you painting your canvas when you go inside that cage?
It is. I mean, you see, all my life I've been playing Street Fighter, Tekken, all these fighting games.
Classics.
And I see myself as I'm thinking, hey, I should be able to do these moves as well, right? And just see how far I can go. I have an acrobatic background, so I've been also training. I haven't been neglecting that element. I mean, yes, fighters they like to lift weights and do all the basic stuff, but I also trained acrobatics just to be able to flip around and do some spectacular kicks. Worked on mobility all my life, and yeah, just to pull off these moves.
And again, you were pulling him off, and you whoa, we lost you. There we go. Come on back. There we are. This was up against what is the current lightweight champion again, Ronnie. I said Ronnie Sahade, Ronnie Paradisa. One You're 6'2", 6'3", almost. He's very unique in that weight class. Did you struggle with any of that? What was it like preparing for somebody of that kind of with those physical attributes?
Yeah, it was an interesting puzzle to solve for me personally. Well, I tell you, it was not. I wasn't facing, in my opinion, I wasn't facing the Octagon lightweight champion. Of course, this is his. How can you say? This is, of course, his achievement, and I recognize that. But yeah, his body type and his fighting style was more interesting for me, as you rarely encounter a guy like that. Yes, you might have southpaws, but southpaw in that size, and he's a good striker. I mean, he's
Very,
a
yeah.
really solid striker, powerful guy, right? Um, and to find partners for that who are also able to simulate that style was really, really tricky. So I broke this down a little bit, and I was breaking the encounters, the situations, right? Like the like couple attacks that he likes to do. I broke them down and into smaller segments, and I was like drilling them, And my my main focus was on defense, on not getting hit and not allowing him to hit me clean.
That's again, when I listen to you talking about fights and people who don't know about you outside of fighting, you're a software engineer as well. So you have a fantastic brain outside of fighting. Do you find that that is a skill that benefits you a lot? The way you analyze, even the way you see things, because even the way you talk about even the attributes, the physicality, the phases that of fighting, it's much more intelligent than many people would anticipate for what people would dub a cage fighter, right? And I think that's part of your skill.
100%, 100%. I think you can break every competition down in smaller elements, and training for a competition is, I mean, what we do is movements, and of course you need to know which movements to use, which cards to play, basically, right? But then of course there's the training element, because your body needs to learn how to apply those. Otherwise, like every teenager who likes to play 6 hours a day Street Fighter would be able to fight, right?
Yeah.
So there is like the strategic elements, but also the how your own body works and how your own body learns. And of course, I've been reading a lot, and I've been studying a lot of, uh, I don't know the English word, but it's like basically how you learn, how your brain, how your
Yeah.
body is learning, and how you can fast track that a little bit,
Wow. Matrix style.
basically.
Look, you talk about the style and catching the hearts of fans, because again, I don't believe you've ever been in a dull fight. I think that's what you bring. You always make it a fight as well. This got you voted by the fans. Again, when you look at the fighters that were in the lucky loser vote to go back into the tournament, you had Lengal in there. You got Kohu, big names in Octagon. You got people like Nafuka, who's got a big following in Germany. You were voted at the top. You beat every single one of those. You were the number one to come through. Were you surprised by that? And how happy did that make you that it was the fans that put you back in a situation where June the 8th, you'll be, on the verge of coming back into this tournament?
Of course, I was extremely happy, and also a bit surprised, because in the beginning, I assumed, yeah, the local superstars, they're gonna get voted in most likely. That was my first thought, but just I got a glimpse right after the fight, the feedback I got from the fans in Ostrava. It was like it was incredible. They went crazy after me. So I had a slight idea. Hey, I think they might want to see more. So yeah, I'm really, really glad that I was voted back in, and hopefully I can step back into the tournament and beat the guys down.
Um, let's just talk before we talk about your next fight. Let's talk about those fans and what it's like fighting for Octagon. You've fought in many big promotions. You've been around. You've proved yourself. What's it been like joining Octagon, and what has that response been like for the fans? Because I always like to ask fighters that, because I feel like Octagon fans respect true martial artists. They love that. They like the entertainment side, but what you do in the cage counts more than anything for Octagon fans. So, what's it been like for you on the receiving end of some of those messages or the following from Octagon?
Hey, look, I love the entertainment side. I deeply appreciate that, and I'm the exact guy for it. You put on the camera in front of me, and I do the best out of it. And it's nice that Octagon likes to play with that a little bit. They play into that. But I don't know, for whatever reason, the Octagon fans, they really, really appreciate and understand the sport. I don't know where they get it from, but they're really well informed. And usually you see these things maybe in Japan or something like that, but it's really, really nice. They have a deep knowledge of the sport, and they show a deep appreciation. They're really emotionally invested, and it's overflowing into Germany as well. I mean, we were already the sport was already rising, but now it's going on a fast track. And yeah, it's great. It's great to be here.
And let's talk about that, because you're representing Turkey in the tournament, but you fight out of Germany, Berlin, right? And you've been in Germany for a long time. So what's it been like watching what Octagon have achieved? And even when you look forward to not just the Festhalle, what they did in Cologne, but now the Eintracht Stadium, the fact they've sold over 45,000 seats for a card in October. Did you ever imagine the German scene would be as big as it is, as quick as Octagon have made it?
It was at first hard to imagine, because Germans like to be a little bit pessimistic, right? But we are working really, really hard. I mean, not only Octagon, but all the gyms all over Germany, especially the gym I'm based at, Spitfire Berlin.
What a gym as well. What a great
We are
gym.
working hard to represent ourselves, not only in Germany but also internationally. Be it amateur competitions, pro competitions, we do our best to inform the people and grow the sport. And yeah, it's all hard work. Basically, it's lots of passion, and we put our heart and soul into it. And it's really, really great to see the fruits of that, and that Octagon allows us to give that stage.
And that stage is going to be the stage for you next is going to be the football stadium that is Eden, June the 8th, and you will be taking on none other than UFC veteran Makwan Amirkhani here. This is a great poster, by the way. That is a serious stare down that we're looking forward to seeing on June the 7th, ahead of you stepping inside that cage. When you found out you were fighting Makwan, just give us your initial reaction and what you think of this fight.
Hey, I was delighted to receive that offer. I didn't really expect that. I didn't have an idea who I would be facing, but I think that's a really nice matchup. He's a UFC veteran. He's got a lot of experience, and in my opinion, a high-level fighter. So I think that would be an interesting matchup. And yeah, people are talking about that fight. People they want to see it. So I want to see it as well. Makwan, stay ready.
He's gonna stay right. Unfortunately, he can't join us tonight, which I'm sad about. But we send his condolences to him and his family about the dog that passed yesterday. The exciting thing though about this fight is, again, you were both voted in by the fans. It's so high up the card as well. That arena is going to have 28,000 people inside it. Are you even picturing what that's going to feel like? Look at your eyes light up there. As a fighter, as a gladiator, these are the moments you dream of, right? And I've seen you come up from the regional scene to the European scene and now onto these big stages. What does that add to the motivation for training, preparation, even when you wake up in the morning and thinking about that? What's it like knowing you're going to be on a stage that big?
Look, I have been fighting in the back alley of a half rotten gym in front of 3 coaches. I've been doing these kind of fights. I've been fighting in a local show where there were 50 people. I've been fighting in front of thousands of people. The preparation, the work is always the same. It's really, really weird. But the 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 training and also the stress, because a fight is a fight, no matter where.
Hmm.
It's just the stage, the setting is a little bit different. So the work is the same, the motivation is the same. Every single fighter needs to have his own motivation. Everybody has different kind of motivation, right? So these external factors, I don't factor them in that much, but it is amazing. Of course, my eyes light up if I hear 28,000 people. Oh my god, I cannot even imagine it. I think the arena is gonna shake like an earthquake. People shouting, people screaming. I won't be able to hear my corner. It's gonna be amazing. I'm just waiting for that adrenaline rush. So yeah, of course I'm excited.
You touched on it there. Every fighter needs a motivation, and I totally agree with that. When I feel that fighters lose that passion or whatever it is that drives them, that why, I feel like that's when you can see the drop off, or that's when you see them take shortcuts. What's your why? What's your motivation? What drives you to continue to strive to prove that you are the best?
Man, this question I couldn't answer all my life. I tell you, it's just in my blood. I just cannot see it any other way. I just enjoy it a lot. I enjoy everything that comes with it. It gives me a structure, it gives me discipline, all that hard work. If it wasn't for that sport, I would be really lazy. I wouldn't do anything. I wouldn't set goals. But this gave me a drive for everything else, for other areas as well. So it's only a plus, and I always encourage everyone I encounter, even if it's an acquaintance who I don't care about, but I try to motivate and encourage everyone to start the sport, be it self-defense or fitness or
Or a
whatever, but it
hobby or
gives you
whatever else?
a
Yeah.
hobby. Exactly. It gives you a personal goal. And for me, of course, I like to fight. I always like to fight. When I was a kid, my first, I can tell you a short story if you want.
Yes, please.
My first recess in school, okay? In school, my very, very first recess. So we're outside, and in Germany, national sport is football, okay? National sport is football. All the kids were playing football, but I never cared about football, and I still don't care about football. So maybe I'm disappointing a lot of fans right now, but that's it. My heart stays in the fight game. And even back then, I was, I don't know, 5 or 6 years old. So all the guys, they were playing football, and I was watching them, and I thought, yeah, that's quite lame. I think there's like other stuff that we can do. And I just started a fight. So I just went to some kid and started kicking him. Of course, I got beat up by 12 people. Of course, I got beat up by 12 people. You know,
Yeah.
all the kids, they beat me up. And then we went back to the classroom, and the teacher was like, "Hey, what's going on?" And I was crying, like, "Oh, they beat me, right?" And the teacher was asking, "Hey, what's going on?" Like, and the other kid was like, "I don't know. He just randomly attacked me. I don't know. Did I say something?" And the teacher was like, "Yeah, did you say something to him, or Attila? Why did you do it?" I'm like, "Hey, I don't even hate that guy. I just thought it's much more fun than football."
I love
well
it.
deserved, well deserved beating, but there people noticed already. Okay, I'm more like that.
Do you know what? I've asked that question a few times, what the motivation is. And I feel like that's one of the best answers. And it was even the short sentence where he said, "It's in my blood. It's just in my blood." That's
It
it.
is
If you can't answer it, you're just drawn to it. This is your world. Then I feel like that's the best answer, because if you find that calling, that's where you find peace with everything else, right? If you're constantly searching for your thing, your why, your reason, then the rest of your life becomes murky as well. Do you agree with that?
exactly. I
Yeah.
agree 100%. Yeah.
I want to ask you. In fact, I've just had a question pop in. Not a question, a little show of support from some of the fans. I'm a fan of Ronnie, but I didn't think he won. I hope to see Attila cut through the division and fight with Ronnie again. So the fans even dropping in there. It's a lot of love you've had so far, and I'm excited to see the response, and particularly for this fight, because I feel like Makwan Amirkhani as well got a lot of love. He had one hell of a hard fight. What did you think of his fight, and What, because he even talked a little bit about retirement after that. Then he got voted back in and said, "Okay, if the fans want it, I'm coming." What's your thoughts on that journey? What were your thoughts on his fight as well when you saw that?
Yeah, the real reason of his performance, he knows best. I cannot assume anything. I broke it down in my own YouTube channel, of course. I broke his last fight down in my own YouTube channel, but I would say, it was just wrong decision making. So he was relying too much on his wrestling, but that is dependent on the opponent. If you if you wrestle, look, this sport is mixed martial arts. It's not pure wrestling or pure grappling, because as soon as the exchange ends, as soon as the scramble ends and you guys separate, then the shoulders get heavy, and then you have to strike. You get sluggish a little bit, you get open for counters, you neglect your defense, and this was repeating until he got caught with the final shot. So maybe it was his conditioning. Can be, because if you say retirement was a factor, retirement was a thing. Okay, maybe it was a little bit of a motivation. He was looking for a way out. He was looking for other things, and now he got voted back in, so he wants to fight again. So you see, there's like a lot of external factors that drive his motivation to train, to prepare, to fight, and every fighter has to decide that for himself. On the surface, it can be like this. Maybe he didn't train hard enough. Maybe it was a strategic thing where he just like burned himself out. Can also be. But yeah.
What about you matching up with him? Because obviously you break it down and you've done that on your YouTube channel. How do you see the fight? How do you see your skills match against his? Where are your strengths, and what do you have to be most aware of with what he brings?
Of course, he has strong wrestling. He has a couple of submissions that he's really strong at. Of course, I can say, yeah, I'm gonna knock him out and everything. Sure, but I mean, he got knocked out in his last fight, and I mean, he's not stupid. He's gonna make adjustments. He's gonna prepare for that, and if he's really smart, he's gonna adjust also that kind of strategy, to avoid getting burned out a little bit. But that's where I have to tap in and be offensive and wrestle him. A lot of fans might disagree at first glance. They might think, hey, what? Attila's not a wrestler or whatever. But hey, I'm a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, and I know how to tire people out. And so I think that would be the fit strategy, to really like grind him down, and then let's go. But if he decides to shoot for the legs and, scramble with me, then I welcome him.
Wow. That's that again. I'm looking forward to seeing this fight because of that chess match that you're going to play out with him. Where do you think this puts you if you get a win over Amirkhani on this big stage, and say nothing happens with the other fights, so you don't get brought back into the other quarterfinals? This puts you in a great place no matter what, right? You've been voted back in by the fans. You get a victory in Prague. And that lightweight belt is frozen, but you also fight a featherweight, right? Which division would you head for, and what are your goals following this kind of fight and getting a victory in Prague?
If I do not get back into the tournament, I would be really, really sad. That's for sure, right? Yeah. But there is always an opportunity, and I'm with one eye. I'm looking towards Frankfurt. Oy. Because there's also a big show over there, and some people might not know, but I lived in Frankfurt for 4 years. I did my studies there. I studied in Frankfurt. Yes, I graduated there.
Wow.
So I also got a fan base in Frankfurt, and a lot of people were asking me without, right? Like they came out of nowhere. Hey, Attila, you're gonna fight in Frankfurt? You're gonna fight in Frankfurt? I'm like, hey, wait a minute. I'm still looking for the tournament, but this could be an option. This could be an interesting option. Frankfurt could be an interesting option.
I like it. I had no idea you studied there. Frankfurt is an amazing city as well, right? It's so diverse. There's the sinful side on one side, the business side on the other. It's got a phenomenal, it's just a beautiful city, right? So you were there for 4 years.
Yeah, yeah.
Amazing, absolutely amazing. And yeah, because that would be great if you could work your way to getting that. Because think about that, if you then fought on this stadium and then that, you would be one of only a few fighters ever, and I mean ever, to fight in 2 football stadiums in 1 year.
Perfect. Yeah, there's like I like to combine football and fighting, as you know.
This time you won't get told off by the teachers. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about your Turkish heritage as well, because you fly that flag so proudly. So, do you think that's what's put it in your blood, that warrior spirit? Do you feel like that is something that is coming through your bloodline?
100%. In you have to know the sport is not so advanced in Turkey, unfortunately, because we don't have the opportunities over there. We don't have the, how do you call it, like the
Platform, right?
coaching and the
Yeah, yeah.
gyms, the platform. It's growing slowly, but the interest is really high. The people are so engaged into the sport. I mean, even my grandma watches MMA. Even my aunt watches MMA. It's crazy. They crazy about it. No matter who you ask, because look, it's great to see in Germany that the sport is growing. But if you ask an auntie, if you tell her about cage fighting, she will look at you like, "Hey, what's with
Yeah.
you? You know, are you a hooligan or what?" But in Turkey, I don't know for what reason they love a good battle. They have that in their blood. You know, they have the fighting spirit, and it's well received over there. You know, and people are really talented. The few guys who, if you just give them a little bit of knowledge, a little bit of training opportunities, they go crazy. They put their heart and soul into it, and yeah, it would be great to see more MMA over there. But for
And there's some
sure,
great fighters coming through, right? There's some great fighters. You are leading the charge. There's as well. You talk about opportunities in training. I saw this picture on your social media. When was this from? How long ago was that? And what was it like? Did you get to train with Aldo, or just meeting the great Jose Aldo?
I was meeting him. I was meeting him. I have a good connection to the team Nova União since over, I think, 7 years or so. I've been going there back and forth, doing some preparations, training with them, and yeah, Aldo actually he invited me for fight preparation. Last time when I was there, he said, "Hey, next time you come, you have to we have to train together." I said, "Okay,
Wow,
yeah, sounds good, sounds
wow.
good."
Who
Uh,
is your favorite fighter? Do you have like
Jose Aldo, of course,
yeah,
Jose Aldo.
dude,
Yeah, he's my favorite
dude.
fighter.
Oh my God, to be able to
Yeah,
train, you've
yeah.
got to do that. You've got to do that, especially looking at where he is right now. Look, I'm going to pick your brains for who you think, and I don't know if you've watched any of the other fights. In fact, let me just ask you straight up: did you watch any of the other fights, and have you got somebody in your head who you think is the favorite for this Tip Sport Game Changer?
The favorite for this tip sport game changer.
Let's do it.
I
Let's do it
mean,
this way. Let's show you these. So Legursky versus
okay.
Wanless. Who do you believe takes that one?
Kilegeski versus Wanless. Both are equally skilled. I mean, Legersky is not only he doesn't only have dangerous hands, but he's also good on the ground. But Wanless, I have to say, he has really clean striking. I mean, he's really powerful, but also really clean and accurate. And I think he can deal with that wild style of Legersky. So I would rather go with a Wanless. Um, if he doesn't make a mistake and gets taken to the ground and, like, you know, I cannot. Um, I don't know how he's on the ground compared to Legersky, but in striking, I see Wanless.
What about this one? This is on the same card as you as well. 1 second. Duque versus Machaev. Duque was perhaps the surprise of the tournament in Octagon 54. He took out Grabinski, and Machaev, of course, took out your next opponent, which is Amirkhani. What's your thoughts on that one?
Um, Look, this Spanish guy, I was really not impressed with his performance. He was just yeah, holding on to Grabinski. I think Grabinski won that fight. Yeah, but it was a close decision. Mahaev, I was really impressed with his skills, and I think not only I hope that if he wins, I would be really happy for him, but I also believe that he will win because he's just like the better all-rounder.
Let's add this one in there. What about this? Keita versus Bogdanovic. Keita fought Agi Sadari in Frankfurt. It was in the most trouble we've ever seen him in round 3. Bogdanovic took out Nafuka in the first round, Octagon 54. Any thoughts on those two? How do you see that? What are you laughing at? I love this. What's tickled you?
Look. Bogdanovic, man, at first I thought he was an intern at OKTAGON or something like that. I thought he was like, but
he's a very smart young man. He's a very smart young
man. Yeah. I think he's studying law or something like that. That's really nice. Yeah. But when I then of course then I thought no, yeah, he's a fighter. Yeah, he had also a good record, champion in Serbia or something like that. But then when I saw his fight, I thought maybe he should go back to be an intern. He should apply to be an intern at OKTAGON because no, his level is like, he's good, he's okay, but those guys are killers. I mean, Keita, he's gonna eat him alive. Like, no, this is like this is a really, in my opinion, this is a mismatch. Keita has it easy this time, but you never know, because last fight, Keita versus Sadari, he got a little bit exposed, wasn't he? You could argue about that. You could argue about that. Like, did he really won that fight? Yes, okay, he won the first 2 rounds there, but he got really, really exposed. So he showed his vulnerable side. And even though I still highly regard him as a good striker and he has tremendous takedown defense and everything, but there was a moment, right? Sadari just exposed him. That was incredible. That was like, okay. But I go with Keita in this one for sure, because Bogdanovic, I was hoping to get him in the first round. Instead, they give me the best guy. Okay.
Well, let's talk about this. You are the man. Oh my goodness, I want to break fights down with you every day, mate. This is quality. Paradiso versus Torres. Obviously, you know Paradiso well from your time in the cage with him. Torres, you saw him face Lengal. Thoughts on this one again? Yeah, just give us your reaction and what you think. Who will go forward in this one?
Well, that is really, really hard to say, because Torres he's swinging hard. Yeah, he has a lot of punching power. I also I see him as a dangerous guy, but Paradiso might exploit him if he stays calm, collected, and a little bit patient. He can get him. Like, I'm really, really sure about that, So because Torres is really wild. He's really wild, and he catches you if you make a mistake. But Paradiso, if he doesn't make a mistake, I mean, he can win by robbery. This is his this is secret weapon,
Oh, mate, you're a legend. One more to break down. One more, and give me your pick and how.
Korkmaz via knockout.
Korkmaz via knockout. That's how you see it on June the 8th, Eden Stadium. You'll get the finish by KO.
Yeah, I see the finish by KO because without discrediting Makhaev, he did a really great performance. I was really impressed and everything. But my shots are really nasty. Like, they hurt, and my everything, my kicks, my punches, it's another level, and I added a little bit more onto that from last time. So yeah, we'll see. But compared to Makhaev, I think I have a little bit more pop in my strikes. So who knows? But in the end of the day, it's a thing of strategy. I will play my cards. Makwan is gonna play his cards, and then we're gonna see, right? It's exciting.
It is exciting, and it goes down June 8th. Honestly, my friend, when they told me that they'd signed you to OKTAGON, I was so happy. I feel like the fans have responded as I thought they would to your fighting style, your personality. And June 8th, we get to see you walk out in a football stadium and live the dream once more, my friend. So congratulations on all the success, and thank you for the time. And I will see you in Prague, which I'm excited about as well, brother.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, take care. I will see you Prague. Take care, my friend. See you soon. There he is, Attila Korkmaz. What a guy. What a guy. I would break down fights with him every single day if I could. Look at the energy on that. Again, let's just show you that card. This goes down June the 8th. It's happening in the Eden Football Stadium. Let's put that in there. There we go. Look at that. Look at the card, top to bottom, full of exciting fights. Pakoni versus Rock on there. The grudge match we weren't expecting to see is back on. Then we have the TipSport Gamechanger fights. Korkmaz versus Amirkhani will kick it off in the reserve fight. Legursky versus Wanless. Duque versus Machaev. Again, if you don't understand how that works with the reserve fight, if there is a big missing weight or if there is an injury, we've had it before. We had it in the first round of the first season where we basically we had Grabinski step in instead of somebody. We had a number of different moves. It could happen, and it has happened already. So we could see Korkmaz move into one of those fights and be back in the tournament. We got the welterweight eliminator for the title, plus the 2 title fights at the top of the card. It's a beautiful card. It's a beautiful way to spend June the 8th. Again, I will have Makwan Amirkhani on the podcast next week. We again, condolences to him and his family about the loss of his dog, and we'll find out his side of the story. We'll find out what he thinks of this fight. But once again, thank you to Attila Korkmaz. Thank you to you guys, and I